Let's see where the beat goes. Let's see where the beat goes. Listen up, amigos, far and wide. Bitcoin and freedom coincide. Stack those sats, have a cozy life. Grow laser eyes, don't lose sight. John, Chris, and Jerry unite. Amigos together, future's bright. The Friday live stream, so much fun. Oh, the price is dipping, smashed by sun. Let's see where the price goes. Bitcoin amigos. Let's see where your life goes. Bitcoin amigos. Streaming those Friday shows. If you know, you know. Let's see where your life goes. Bitcoin amigos. Building wealth, one side at a time. A revolution so sublime. Bitcoin, oh yeah, it's the key to breaking free from the powers that be. When FUD flares up, we don't care. We hold tight, we slay the bears. Bitcoin's growing strong and steady. As the world wakes up, amigos are ready. Let's see where the price goes. Bitcoin amigos. Let's see where your life goes. Bitcoin amigos. Streaming those Friday shows. If you know, you know. Let's see where your life goes. Bitcoin amigos. Bitcoin on track. Continue to stack. Bitcoin on track, continue to stack. Stay humble, selling is whack. Always remember, amigos got your back. Let's see where the price goes. Bitcoin amigos. Let's see where your life goes. Bitcoin amigos. Streaming those Friday shows. Bitcoin amigos. Let's see where your life goes. Bitcoin amigos. Stack accordingly.
Hello out there. Happy New Year. We're on the air. No, what's going on here? Where am I hearing an echo? Echo. Oh yeah, I think we're okay. Can you hear me okay? Microphone, good. Camera, good. All right. Looks like we're good. Let's see where your life goes. What was the line in there that I just saw? Stack the sats, selling is whack. I don't know. I love those lyrics. They're pretty. Shout out to Chris. He did a really good job with all those songs. We got 9 on the album, and he's working on a bonus one for the Bitcoin Amigos album. Feels like a Monday today, but it is Thursday. So happy Monday, happy Thursday. Letha's over in the Zap stream. Good morning, Letha. Oh, we got a good crowd in there today, and I didn't even share it on Nostr. Okay, let me update the stream info. Let's get to her here today. Got a couple shout outs to start the day. First one, somebody sent in 23,000 sats to Arnie's wallet over the weekend. I think it was on, I want to say it was yesterday. So it must have been a New Year's Eve zap. 23,000 sats anonymously. So whoever sent those, thank you very, very much. That might be the fattest zap we've ever got in the show. And I see somebody sent in 420 sats. Was that from Zapstream? Anyways, I needed to say thanks for that one. That was a fatty. a fat New Year's zap. So thank you for that. Second shout out I wanted to give today was one of the people in the community here. She will remain nameless. I don't want to dox her or anything, but she's going to be a pretty big part of the community here, I think, going forward, especially in the 8 Satoshis venture. Pretty cool, I think, what we're going to be building there. It's going to be much more than just Bitcoin, but she's a health expert, we'll call her. And she sent me a red light, red light therapy thing. I don't know. I got it on the weekend. No, I keep saying weekend. I got it New Year's Day yesterday and tried it out for the first time this morning. So it cut into my time this morning, my prep time, and so I'm a little bit scrambly today, but it felt really good. It felt like I was just sitting in the sun on the beach, but I was on the cold floor here in Manitoba. So thank you very much for the person who sent that. It was kind of very, very generous, but it was somebody who's been watching the show for a while and I guess has gotten some value from watching the show and hasn't been able to send any zaps. So they sent a red light thing for me. Make sure I'm healthy here. So thank you for that. See if Arnie shows up today. All right. Well, there's the shout outs for the day to start the show. Let's see who's in the chat this morning. We got Ginger. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year's. Going to be my first year using cold storage. Exciting. It's a big step for sure. And not something that you need to really rush into. But, oh, look at that. What's with the comments here? Why are they massive? What the heck? That must be new for 2021 or 2025. Cleaning Machine, good morning. Happy New Year to you as well. Steve Walsh, Happy New Year to everyone except Peter Schiff. Yeah, ain't that the truth? That guy should be... hopefully somebody sues that guy into oblivion for the horrible financial advice for the last 10 years. Jay says, my DCA strategy from January 1st, 2024, buying different amounts every single day is worth about 3x the dollars I put in. It's crazy, eh? Isn't it? We're going to be talking a little bit about that this morning in terms of the DCA, in terms of buying, selling. There he is. There he is. What you got? I don't know what he's eating. Looks like an orange. No, it's his ball. But we're going to be talking about buying Bitcoin, waiting to buy, waiting to sell. I got a little bit of a spreadsheet prepared today. Not a whole lot of news lately. I guess people were on holidays and not a whole lot happening. I think there was a few big things that happened in the States over the New Year's, not weekend, but New Year's. But honestly, for the last week and a half here, I've been pretty checked out from news and stuff, which I'm okay with. I don't think I missed anything by the looks of it. So we're just kind of getting back into the swing of things here, I would say. Duncan, good morning. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year, Tom. And Lazy River. Well, Arnie stopped by for 10 seconds, daily 10 seconds. I don't know how we can make him stay a little bit longer. Treats, maybe? Treats usually works for everything. Good morning, Lazy River. Top of the morning to you, too. Our biggest super chat I think we've received on the show was from Lazy River on Tuesday. Killer, good morning, living in the future. Good morning, everybody. Bitcoin Generations. Hey, that took me a second. Look at that nice picture. So we got the Bitcoin Generations today. Why wait? We're firing up the Bitcoin Generation show today. And it's going to be at 2 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube. So I'll probably share the links on, where will I share them? Nostr? Twitter, maybe. I'll probably send it in the group chat. But yeah, we're doing our first show today, Bitcoin Generations. It's going to be myself and Bodhi, as you can see here. Bodhi under the new moniker. I feel like we've looked up the word moniker before. It's like alias, right? I got a good memory. Tommy D, good morning, my friend. Stand Up Vegan, Happy New Year, Jor, and all. Happy New Year to you as well. I'm catching up here. Well, we got Lazy JM Ranch over in the Zap stream. Good morning, and My Path to Fire as well. Good to see everybody here. Zane's in the chat this morning. Tommy says, "Have you guys read the Stone Ridge investment letter, Pure Alpha?" Yeah, I would highly suggest it. I didn't read it, but I listened to a summary of it. Maybe I'll share that here. How can I share that? I don't know. Check it out. Just YouTube search Stone Ridge. I'll see if I can bring it up here. Maybe we should watch it today. Actually, it's a pretty good. It is absolute pure alpha for sure. Stone Ridge 2025. That's a good idea. Maybe we'll listen to it on the show today. It's only 18 minutes long. The first 5 minutes we could probably do without, and we'll put it on maybe 1.5 speed. Listen to it, but yeah, there's some good info in there. It is the founder of NYDIG, Ross Stevens, who wrote the letter, and this is Bitcoin News Updates, who did a little summary of it. So we'll listen to that in a bit here. Thanks for bringing that up, Tommy, because there's some good info in there. Really good info. Brennan, good morning. Timber Crasher, welcome to 2025. That's kind of crazy. I feel like for the majority of 2024, I had a hard time writing that. I was still writing 2023. And the years just fly by. I did a podcast I posted it on Tuesday, and it was called Rethink Your Resolutions. I posted it on YouTube actually as well, the video. And I got some good feedback on that. So if you haven't checked that one out, make sure you do it. I just talked about the way how can I put this quickly? The point of it was that 2024 was my most successful year of my life by far. Like I can't even think of a second place year. And not necessarily in terms of like the financial aspect. Like if you check my tax returns, it wouldn't be the best one financially. But it was in terms of showing up. It was in terms of having a purpose, I guess, and adding value to people's lives by far. And I remember 2024 when it started, and I was just tired of writing down a few things and never hitting them, and losing track, losing focus after a couple months. Everybody does it. I've done it a million times. So I tried doing things a little bit different for 2025, and it worked. It worked very well. And the first one is that you have to really understand where you're going. You have to have a destination. That's the most important one. And you have to review it. Oh, Arnie's going a little bit nutso here. You have to review it every single day. Every single day. Write it down, review it, and even say it out loud. I think that is honestly the most important part of it. So the first one was just having one very clear goal, destination, and not thinking about a year. Thinking about it in terms of Bitcoin. I like the 4-year cycle. So if you give yourself 4 years to do something, you're probably going to do it. If you're consistent, you show up, you write it down, you say it out loud, there's a pretty good chance that after 4 years, you're going to do it, because you can't really accomplish that much in 365 days. That's what I've learned anyways. So if you got some time today, it was about a 20-minute episode. I did share it on the YouTube channel here. It's called Rethink Your Resolutions. And there's a couple other things I talked about, but that's kind of where I'll leave it for now. Yeah, no doubt, Arnie. 23,000 sats. He should show up today for work. And he has. I don't know what he's chewing on there, but he's busy. Ian, good morning. Happy 2025. $152,000. And Sean says, hyped as fuck for 2025. My sats make me feel safe and secure going into the future. Isn't that true? Isn't that true? I know for a fact that if I didn't have any Bitcoin and I wanted to leave my job when I did in 2021, I would never have done it. It was like an insurance policy for me. It was that I knew I wasn't going to make a whole lot of money for a couple of years, and I knew that I had my Bitcoin there, and if I needed to, I could sell it. I had to sell some, which is unfortunate, but also I definitely came out net ahead overall because I bought a lot too. But I did have to sell some through the years to, put food on the table, keep the lights on, keep gas in the tank. And that was the real difference maker for me, was just having Bitcoin there as my insurance policy. As Sean says here, gives you some safety and security going into the future. Much more than anything else I think could provide right now. Hey, we got some zaps over in the zap stream. What's going on there? We got a 10 sat zap. Thank you for that. We got 100 sats from My Path to Fire. Thank you, My Path to Fire. We got 121 sats from Letha and 420 sats from Sunshine. And we got Craig over there. Good morning, Jor, Arnie, and friends. Arnie just left, but he was here. That was his longest stint for a while here. So we'll take it. Johnny says, now that it's, by the way, good morning, Daniel. There was a couple of Arnie settings now. Johnny says, now that's the New Year's with MicroStrategy inclusion in the NASDAQ, there will be 75 to 85 hedge funds that left us hanging here that are going to be buying it. I'll finish it for you. Yeah, I kind of feel bad it happens every time. It happens every single time. It happened with Bitcoin in terms of like a bunch of hype around something like an event. If you think about Bitcoin having date, when we went from, what was it? The fourth epoch to the fifth one in April 2024. But there was a bunch of hype around it. And the halving came, the rewards got split in half, the price shot up, and then it crashed. Then it went down for a while. But then ever since that, I think we're at least 2x since then. So same as MicroStrategy. The MicroStrategy QQQ announcement was made, price shot up, everybody started buying some, and then it dropped by about $100. But if you're like me, if you see MicroStrategy as a very long-term play, and you look at it similar to Bitcoin, then it does matter. It's actually a good buying opportunity. And that's kind of what I want the show to be focused around today. And I think heading into 2025, that's going to be my mentality. And I hope that I can, through the screen here, as best I can, set your mindset that way. And that mindset change is looking at Bitcoin, looking at MicroStrategy, looking at all this stuff from a much different perspective, in terms of looking at it from a buyer's perspective as opposed to a seller's perspective. Because when you look at things, and that's how we were raised, that's how the system trains you to be, where you're looking at things as always if you're going to sell them, like stocks, like houses, like anything that you buy, any investment that you make. Everybody has this buy low, sell high mentality. And so we're always looking at things as if we're going to sell them. But I think we need to start looking at Bitcoin, and this is something I've been trying to do for a while now, but I haven't really communicated it properly. But look at things from a buyer's perspective. And when you look at things from a buyer's perspective, everything changes. Like when the price drops, you're happy about that. As a buyer, you get more sats for the dollars that you're spending. And if you think about it, I mean, most people, I'm guessing, are working here. Not a whole lot of people retired, but some probably are. But even so, with your pension. But if you think about it from a buyer's perspective versus a seller's perspective, then you understand that when Bitcoin's price drops, even though it's like a psychologically, shitty, but when you go to work for that day, any excess you have, any fiat you have in excess, you're going to be buying sats for that. And so you're going to get more sats. Your day, you're getting more from it when the price of Bitcoin is down. When the price of Bitcoin runs up, you go to work for the day, you're getting less. When the price goes up, you're getting less to go to work. So when you look at things from a buyer's perspective, everything changes. And then you can't really lose, because when you look at it that way, you get more sats for your time and energy. But when the price runs up, I mean, you're kind of happy because your net worth has increased. So it's like a win-win when you look at it that way. And you're never really sad about anything because you're just getting more sats for your time and your energy. So I think that that's one thing heading into 2025 that I really want to change and talk about a lot on the show, is thinking about things from a buyer's perspective, not a seller's perspective. Hey, Craig with a fat zap to start the day. Me and Craig got a couple of meetings today talking about SUBSTACK, the inheritance protocol. 21 sats, that's what Craig has called it. The 21 sats security protocol. SUBSTACK, inheritance stuff. And I think that's going to be the biggest part of 2025 for me, is that working with Craig, helping people encrypt their Bitcoin. And Craig sent in 2,100 sats for a zap. Thank you, Craig. And Phoenix Falconer is over in Zapstream as well. Sunshine says, they don't understand we are never selling. Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Don't look at it as if you're selling it. Look at it as if you're buying it. You're going to be buying forever. You're going to be holding it for a while. So why would you ever look at it from a seller's perspective? It doesn't make any sense. Like think about it. Think about your day-to-day life in 2024. Just think back, 2024, the majority of your days, did you spend thinking about selling Bitcoin or buying Bitcoin? I can't think of too many days in 2024, maybe 5 or 6 days throughout the whole year where I was thinking about selling, where I needed to, again, to cover my life, to pay for things. So 5 or 6 days out of 300 days that I was a seller. The other 360, I was looking at buying Bitcoin. And so why would I ever look at things through a seller's perspective when I'm mostly a buyer and I have zero intentions of selling the majority of my Bitcoin? It doesn't make any sense. And Phoenix Falconer says they don't understand how insane we can be. That's true. That's very true. That is very true. Bunny, I've been thinking about my ideal life and how to get there. It's exciting. I'm optimistic for 2025. Best thing you can do. Think about it, what it is you want. Just one thing. It doesn't have to be 10 different goals. It doesn't have to be a bunch of different objectives along the way. Just think about the main thing that you want. Think about it every day. And you will subconsciously, day in and day out, you will make subconscious decisions that get you towards that without even thinking about it. I mean, you think about it every day, but then each step along the way, each day, you make decisions based on that goal in mind. It's a powerful thing. It really is. And 2024 was the first year that I really put it into practice. I kind of understood that going through life, but I never really took it seriously until 2024. And it makes a huge difference. I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference. When you know where you're going, you have one goal in mind, your destination, and you think about it every single day. And if possible, say it out loud. And you'd be amazed. Give yourself 4 years and just watch what happens. Tommy says, if you absolutely have to have the goal to happen, stamp in metal like, yeah, that's a good call. That's a great call. So Tommy's saying, don't just write down your goal, but put it on steel. I like that. Hey, look at this. Rick, Happy New Year. It's my birthday today, 55 years young, and of course, smash the like button. Oh, Rick, God bless Rick. Our daily reminder to like the show, support the show. Happy birthday, Rick. Cheers to you, my friend. And if you're still here, throw your Lightning URL in the chat, and people can send some zaps if they want to. I'll send you some birthday sats. 55 sats each for Rick. If you're still here, Rick, throw your Lightning URL in the chat. Happy birthday, my friend. All right, what else we got here? We got Duncan's over in Zapstream. Zapped 121 sats. We won't need to sell. Oh, we got a couple here. Oh, that's right. That's right. Timber Crasher says, I'm getting my brother to join Nostr this week. He's also in the 8 Satoshis initiative. I'm so happy to be helping my brother learn about Bitcoin. That's awesome, man. That is awesome. Look at these comments. They're massive. I kind of like it, actually. Take up half the screen, though. I'm going to have to be looking over them like this right away. I'm going to have to boost my chair up. But anyways, yeah, Nostr. I think that's something in this house. I mean, I'm on Nostr. I've been on Nostr for just about 2 years now. And I would say it's the best thing I've ever done outside of this YouTube channel. But joining Nostr and really taking it seriously has been the best thing that I've ever done. And myself, Arnie's on Nostr, and I'm trying to get Bridge onto Nostr. She was supposed to do it before 2025, but we got a little bit busy. But I do think that, and I'll share her NPub when she joins. Maybe we'll do it today. But I think that she has a lot of value to add to people. I do. I don't think she's gonna just get on there and post, what she had for lunch, which I don't hate. I do that all the time. But I think that she'll add a lot of value to people. She's very, very knowledgeable in terms of renovations, home design. She's a project manager, but she's also a designer. She can do renders. She designed the whole thing we're looking at putting up here at Rossman Lake in about 2 hours. So she's very, very knowledgeable. Very, she could help a lot of people just with the things that she knows. I said just, and this isn't necessarily talking about her, but this is for anybody. Regardless of what you do, I think that you should be on Nostr. And I think that the best thing that you could do is just throughout your day, just take a bunch of pictures, whatever you're doing. Even if you think it's common sense, even if you think it's common knowledge that everybody knows, the reality is that you're probably in the top 5% of people in the world who understand your industry. And there's probably a lot of people out there who could benefit from your knowledge. And that's kind of what I explained to her. But so just take pictures throughout the day. You don't have to be on Nostr all day, but take pictures, everything you do, everything you see. If you do a job or if you help somebody or if you just are inspired by something, take a picture and then take like a half an hour every night and just review your pictures, put them into an organized folder for later in case you don't do anything today. But just look at the pictures and then add some context to them. Write a little paragraph or a what do you call it? A title or brain's not working today. I don't know. You know what I'm saying. But take the pictures throughout the day, review it at night, and then just add some context and post them on Nostr. And I guarantee there's going to be some people out there who get value from it. And if they do, they're Bitcoiners. They're very eager to give some value back. But kind of just going a little bit further here with Bridge and what she does. I really think that there's going to be a huge demand for people who want very well-built houses. Bitcoiners. Like Bitcoiners have a much longer time preference, a much different view on the world. And I don't think there's many home builders around the world who are really focused on catering to that crowd. And I know over these next couple of years that there's going to be a lot of Bitcoiners who come into a lot of wealth, and they're going to be looking to spend that wealth on a house. And if you look at the typical home builders nowadays, they're very high time preference. They're very get it done as fast as possible, fit it in the budget, cut corners where you need to, and just squeeze as much out of it as you can and get it done as quick as you can. And that's a very fiat mentality. And I think that there's going to be a huge opportunity for home builders in the future who cater to Bitcoiners, who really want very well, things done very well with high quality materials that are built to last for the next 100 years. And so I think that if she starts making some connections on Nostr over these next couple of years, I think that she's going to have a lot of demand for what she does. So that's an example of a home builder or project manager, but you can apply that to pretty much any industry, I think. And just don't overthink it. That's the other thing too, is like understand your knowledge. Understand that the knowledge that you have, most people don't have. Most people need it, but they don't have it. Buck 52, Bitcoin is super volatile, not for everyone, but should be keep your head down and stacking. Yep. Keep stacking. It has been volatile. It will be volatile forever. Well, not forever, but for our lifetime, probably. We got a zap from Spaceman over in Zapstream. 121 sats. Good morning, fellow Zap streamers. Zapstream has been pretty hot this morning. Good to see. Oh, I don't even know my QR code app. What the hell's with that? I was wondering what the heck. They're all from Zapstream today. There it is. There's Arnie's wallet. If you're not on Zapstream and you want to send some sats to the show, to Arnie's wallet, you can send it right there, or you can send it to the address there, Adopted Son 98 at walletofsatoshi.com. Whoa. Okay, what's this comment here from Bodhi? Got 8 Satoshi subs for my kids, all about the next generations. Yeah, what a smart move. There was a couple people who did that. Timber Crusher did that. I think that there was it Alex? Bodhi? A couple people bought subscriptions for their kids or for their brother or friends. All right, we got a big zap here from Bodhi. Oh, look at this. I love this. This is what zaps should be for, or part of them anyways. But Bodhi says, Bitcoin Generations is a new podcast for people who don't yet understand Bitcoin. Older folks can learn this. They need help getting their wealth intelligently preserved for future generations. Zap 2100 sats. Thank you, Bodhi. And so Bitcoin Generations starts today, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Hopefully we got a couple people show up. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a slightly different structure than this show. It's going to be run by Bodhi, and I'm just going to be the guy there talking. So we're going to have some good conversation. He's going to ask some questions, I'm thinking, that are more geared towards, let's say, 40 plus, 50 plus. But there's going to be good information for people of all ages there. Good morning, Knoxville. Good morning, Django, one of our Bitcoin Journeyman. And another Bitcoin Journeyman, buck 52,000. I'm buying quality in everything in my life. Yes. I mean, I didn't see this comment, but this ties in exactly what I was just talking about with the houses. I think that all Bitcoiners kind of share this mentality. And as Bitcoin's value grows, and as the purchasing power of Bitcoin grows, there's going to be a huge demand for very high quality products. And the first thing that they're going to be looking at is houses. So I think that with Bridge, I think that if she aligns herself and starts building some connections within the Bitcoin community, she's going to be in very high demand. And the cool thing is that, I mean, I don't want to get too far into it here, but like with her and with anybody now, you're going to be able to help anybody on earth. You're not just limited to your local area anymore. So she could do a design for somebody, send it across the world, tell them, what to look for, what materials to use, what products to use around the house, that kind of stuff, right? Then they would just have to find people to do it, which she could probably help with, or they could look after that. But I do absolutely think that there's going to be a huge demand for high quality stuff in the future. And that's why I think you should be, if you are somebody who would be applicable in that in any way, You should 100% be on Nostr and starting to grow your Bitcoin network. Eddie says, morning, Jory. YouTube still refuses to notify me when these start. But I made it for the second time this week. Happy New Year. Happy New Year, Eddie. And thanks for letting me know. I have noticed that. And I actually meant to text the group last night and just say, like, I've just been noticing. I don't know if it's because I'm streaming to Rumble now, which I forgot I was. Oops. I'm wondering if YouTube can tell that I'm streaming to Rumble now. Sorry, Rumble. I completely forgot about you here. I see Ballsy's over in Rumble. Good morning, Bitcoiners. Good morning, Ballsy. But yeah, I've noticed that YouTube has been just dropping my subscriber numbers randomly. And I know they do it like once a year. They clean out the spam, they call it. But this has been like a consistent thing for the last couple of weeks where they just keep chopping me down. So my ask, I guess, of you would be to just make sure you're subscribed. I'm not going to ask you to. It shouldn't be a thing for me to ask. But if you have been enjoying the content and you don't want to miss out on anything, then definitely subscribe. And just double check that you are, because I know that YouTube's been cutting me down. Patrick, 21 Spiel, good morning, Happy New Year, and happy birthday to Rick. Hey, Morrow, Happy New Year's to you. All right, what do we got here? Did Rick? Rick, no, we need a lightning address. It'll look like an email address like this. Adopted Son 98. That's Arnie's Lightning wallet. I mean, unless people want to send on chain, but I won't be sending 55 sats on chain. So if you have a Lightning address, like a wallet of Satoshi or a Speed wallet or anything like that, then throw it in the chat. We'll all send Rick 55 sats for his birthday. Droid says, hoarding Bitcoin is great and everything, but we also need to use it. We also need to use it for it to be a MEO. What's an MEO? What is an MEO? I'm trying to think. I don't know. I can't think of anything. But yeah, you're right. And I like spending Bitcoin. I like zapping Bitcoin, but it's always, you got to be replacing it. Sunshine says plastic trinkets are a fiat innovation. Yes, exactly. Cheap stuff. Oh, and we got a fatty zap. Look at this. All caps, our favorite guy, Mav21, shows up in the chat once in a while and sends in a zap. 4,200 sats from Mav21. Happy New Year. Thank you, Mav. I would like to see, I wonder if I can bring that up right now, actually. I would think that there should be a way for me to see the top zappers on my stream. And I think that, I don't know how to do it right now. But anyways, I'm thinking Mav would be up there for sure. So thank you, Mav, for the zap, and Happy New Year to you. Drew says, I'm usually optimistic, but it's hard to be optimistic about the future in Canada after what dipshit PM is leaving us with. Going to take decades to recover, maybe never. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. But again, you have to find the good in things, right? And you have to understand that with that, if things were good in Canada, or if things were working as expected in a centralized, controlled vampire system, and inflation wasn't out of control, and we weren't calling our PM a dipshit, we probably wouldn't be in Bitcoin. We would probably be the last people to Bitcoin. When your financial system works, when your country works, then you don't need to look at things like Bitcoin. But the one thing I have noticed is that because of what's happened in Canada with Trudeau, with inflation, with having a journalist as our finance minister, there are a lot of very strong Bitcoiners in Canada and Bitcoin communities forming in Canada. And so when you hold Bitcoin as your treasury, as your main asset, if that's your main savings account, then, I mean, honestly, this is bad to say, but like Bitcoin buys me more in Canada. Things have gotten a lot cheaper for me in Canada because I save in Bitcoin. If I was holding Canadian dollars in my checking account and savings account, I would be fucked, as most people are. But because of how bad our dollar is, and I'm holding Bitcoin, things have gotten significantly cheaper for me this year and will continue to. So, I mean, that's how you have to look at it. And the other thing that gives me a lot of hope about Canada is the people and the resources that we have. So it might take a while for like the country as a whole to recover, but if you're holding Bitcoin, you're laughing right now. Duncan said, "What's the new YouTube channel, Bodhi?" Yeah, can you share it? Bodhi, are you still here? Because I don't even know what it is either. Moro says, "Free Ross in 18 days." Yes. I think one of my predictions for 2025 was that that's going to happen very early on in Trump's presidency. That's 18 days, eh? Wow. So then the January 6th thing, that happens that's on Monday. Or is it the 7th this year? Isn't it absolutely insane that people are still talking about January 6th from 2021? Like the Democrats are still talking about January 6th. That has to be the most insane like propaganda spin of all time in history. Like if you look at the footage, if you look at the photographs, if you look at the security cameras of police actually letting people into the, I better watch what I say here, which is also insane. But if you listen to Trump's speech and what he said after that they removed from Twitter, like the whole thing is just completely nuts. The fact that they've stretched this out for 4 years now without anything. And people are still in jail for that. Oh, I already got to this one. Daniel says, Bitcoin Citadel design will be a great business. Niche for sure, but lucrative. Yeah, Bitcoin Citadel, I think, is going to have a massive year in 2025. There's just, when I first got into Bitcoin and I started helping people in Bitcoin, there was the majority of people I helped, it was just buying Bitcoin, like how to buy, how to send it to your wallet. That's it. That's kind of where I started. But now, with everything that we built here so far, like the people who we're helping now are people who are in Bitcoin, have bought Bitcoin, have a lot of Bitcoin, and they need to figure out how to protect that Bitcoin and secure that Bitcoin. So that's what Citadel is. That's what Citadel stands for, is like a very secure fortress. If you look at the definition of Citadel, it very much fits what we're trying to accomplish here in terms of sovereignty, security, and just helping people secure their generational wealth. And the nice thing about it is we have, let's call it 8 people who are going to be helping, 8 advisors, and each person kind of has their own different area of expertise. So regardless of what you need, there's going to be somebody at Bitcoin Citadel that can help you. And the structure of it, the way it works, the culture that we're trying to build at Bitcoin Citadel is for Bitcoiners. It's not to rip Bitcoiners off. It's to help add as much value as we can and offer for very reasonable rates. Not ripping ourselves off, but also not ripping people off. So regardless of what you need, if there's something that keeps you up at night with Bitcoin, if you feel like you have more Bitcoin than you have knowledge, then just shoot me an email. All my information, I think, should be in the show notes. But just let me know what you're looking for, and I'll direct you to the right person. And we're going to have a little bit more info coming in the next couple of weeks. We're going to have an actual email contact. Bodhi's going to be helping out with that as well. But for now, if you just want to, any information, super backed inheritance stuff, UTXO stuff, setting up a cold storage device, multi-sig, whatever it is, just shoot me an email and we'll definitely help you with it. And Daniel is one of our advisors at Bitcoin Citadel. Very knowledgeable fella. Uh-oh, Bodhi says YouTube not letting me stream today. Why? Well, maybe we'll do it on my channel then, Bodhi, if you want. I mean, we're live right now. I don't know if we need to be talking about this on the show here, but I'll put in the chat there for YouTube and for in the Zap stream. So maybe we'll do it on my channel then today, Bodhi. And I mean, we might get some more people watching too that way. It's hard to, I mean, we're kind of going through that with the Bitcoin Amigos right now, where we started a channel, we started doing live, and it's taken some time to gain traction on there because it is a new account. So maybe we'll do it on my channel today. Tupac, doesn't make sense to hoard a currency. I guess Bitcoin can never work as actual money. I don't think that's correct at all. I think Bitcoin is the perfect currency. It's also perfect capital. You don't have to use it as currency. You don't have to use it as capital. You can use it as both. It's a currency that actually stores your time and energy properly. As Jack Mahler says, if you like keeping your money, then Bitcoin is for you. So you don't have to call it anything. It's the best way to hold your value. You go to work, you earn some money. You want to protect the purchasing power of that money, you store it in Bitcoin. It can absolutely work as a currency. I mean, it's not going to be like you don't want it to be the reserve currency. I think that I was listening to something about this over the weekend, actually. The problem of a nation like the US holding the reserve currency and keeping it as the reserve asset, because it just incentivizes them to print more of it, to export inflation instead of actual production. So I don't think it's going to be like the US reserve currency, Bitcoin. They'll have the US dollar. And I really think that Trump's going to either combine the Federal Reserve with the Treasury or just get rid of the Federal Reserve. And the new US dollar is going to be backed by Bitcoin. It's not going to be like the reserve currency, but it's going to be the reserve asset that they back the currency with, if that makes sense. Okay, what do we got here? Letha says on January 20th, a $50 billion class action lawsuit will be launched for wrongful arrest and incarceration by the Gen 6 defendant. There you go. 50 billion. It should be 500 billion, or I mean, at that point in dollars, we're just like talking insane amounts anyway. So why not make it 500 billion? Just wreck these people. The people who keep going on with the lie of January 6th, like the Jamie Raskin. Have you ever looked at someone and thought that guy's a pedophile more than Jamie Raskin? Like, why are we letting these people dictate our lives and influence our lives? It's fucking insane. And I just hope that changes. That's my hope, is that we just get rid of these reptiles and we start making decisions for ourselves. And Bitcoin's a big part of that, because none of this could happen without Bitcoin. Truly. Nothing would ever change without Bitcoin. Sunshine says, Tupac, it doesn't make sense for dollars to be money because they don't share value. I guess dollars can never work as actual money. Currency is a downstream from money, if you understand this. Yep. That's what I was trying to say. I don't know if I said it as well, but that's what I was trying to say. Exactly. Captain Codeman says people didn't transact in gold when gold standard was a thing. Timber Crasher, where can we find Bitcoin generations? I shared it on here. I know I just talked about this, but I think I shared it somewhere on here. Where is it? Yeah, there it is. YouTube.com/@Bitcoin Generations. It's a good name. Shout out to Bodhi for naming that one. I had nothing to do with it. Okay, we got a question here from Ginger. Hold on here. We got a question from Ginger. It says, I know it's not set up yet, but when using Sparrow, is that the actual wallet and the cold storage device is what secures it? Yes. That's absolutely true. So Sparrow wallet is not a device. The cold card is not a wallet. Sparrow is the wallet. Cold card or Jade is how you sign transactions. So that's why you have to communicate it with your cold card or your Jade. You have to sign it on that device so they know it's you. You have to either put your PIN code, your passphrase, scan the QR code. The device has to know that it's you. That's the only way that you can sign a transaction if it's you. However, Sparrow, if you're using it as a hot wallet, let's say you didn't have a cold card or a Jade or any other device, and you just downloaded the Sparrow wallet, you could actually use that as a signing device as well. Because if it's a hot wallet on Sparrow, then you sign it from Sparrow. But if it's connected to the device, you actually have to sign the transaction on the device first before you can move any Bitcoin. But if it's a hot wallet, if you just have Sparrow, not connected to anything, that is also the signing device essentially built into the wallet. And that's the same as like most phone wallets too. Like if you think about the Moon wallet, that's also a wallet and the signing device because there's not connected to anything else. There's nothing else. There's no other device. It's the wallet and the signing device to send transactions. So it's a good question. I think that it's important to understand. Yeah, Rick, you wouldn't want a bunch of 55 sat UTXOs. It would cost you more to send them than it would be to get them. Oh, medium of exchange. I got you. Thank you. That's an interesting name. Aurorly? I don't know how to say that. Aurorly? It's a nice name. Hard to pronounce, but nice name. Method of exchange. Okay, you guys all got me here. You're smarter than me. Oh man. Okay. Let's well, we're already 52 minutes into today. Wow, how did that happen? Okay, I guess we'll check out the mempool. 53 minutes late here. But better late than never. See what's going on. Incredibly low fees again today. We're currently sitting at block height 877511. And if you're looking to transact on layer 1, if you want to send Bitcoin, if you want to consolidate UTXOs, which is essentially just sending Bitcoin to yourself, you're paying 2 sats per rebyte. So this is absolutely the optimal time to be consolidating your UTXOs. Never been a better time. 1 sat last block. And look at this, Foundry, 4 blocks in a row. Maybe 5. No. 4 blocks in a row. Maybe I'll get the next one too. And we're ahead of schedule here. We are 16 blocks ahead right now, which is incredibly strong metric there. Look at this hash rate. Where are we here? No, we need to go to that one. Look at this hash rate. It's impossible to look at this and not be extremely bullish about Bitcoin. Impossible. So the hash rate is basically the amount of people plugging in Bitcoin miners, the people securing the network, the people providing energy to the network. That's hash rate. So every time you plug in somebody plugs in a Bitcoin miner, hash rate goes up. Every time somebody unplugs that miner, hash rate goes down. So this is from the last 1 year. You can look at the whole year. 2024. So the hash rate on January 2nd, 1 year ago today, was 466 exahash per second. And today it is 762. So it's almost doubled in 1 year, the hash rate. And if we look at this, this is the most bullish chart of all time in Bitcoin. The hash rate all time. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Tupac says we should get back to having internet cafes and that be the only place to access the internet. Yeah, remember those days? Wild. Do you think that'd be better? I don't know. I wouldn't be able to work then if that were the case. I'd have to go into, I'd have to drive somewhere to do work every day. Fiat for sats. I'm sad the days I was planning on buying and it pumps and happy when it dips. Yeah, look at yourself. Look at things from a buyer's perspective, not a seller's perspective. That's going to be one of my main mantras for 2025. Uh-oh. Bodhi says, anyone else getting an echo on Zapstream? Shit. Can someone on YouTube just let me know if there's an echo or if we have any audio issues here? Please. Good morning, Jason. Let's fucking grow, baby. Try using gold as both currency and a store of value. Exactly. Exactly. And gold's the closest thing I think we can compare Bitcoin to. And you can't use gold for a currency. Try buying something online and paying in gold. Try buying something at the grocery store and paying in gold. Tommy says, what time is the show for Generations today? 2 p.m. Eastern time. 2 p.m. Eastern time. Oh, I got it. Wow, look at that. It took me about 10 seconds, but we got to figure it out. Shorts Generator says, would you recommend Unchained for multisig? Depends. Literally everything has trade-offs. So it depends on your situation. It depends on your time frame. It depends on your knowledge and how much you're willing to pay for fees. I think Unchained is great for like maybe a portion of your holdings. If you are somebody who's a little bit too far ahead of your skis in terms of you own more Bitcoin than you have Bitcoin knowledge, it's a good option. It really is. I'd never say anything bad about Unchained. I think that they're very useful for certain subsets of the population. But if you are somebody who wants a little bit more self-sovereignty, if you want to kind of control things yourself, I think that super backed is a much preferred option to that. And it's kind of like a one-time, the investment's a little bit off the start. You got to pay about $500 for the setup, but that's just the equipment that you need because you get a brand new laptop or a used laptop. It's all air gap, never touches the internet, and a couple other things, a laminator, if you have a printer. So your initial investment's a little bit, but you're not paying like an ongoing fee with super backed. That's the nice thing about it. Or like an annual fee or a portion of your Bitcoin. It's and it works just as well, if not better, if you like privacy, right? Because if Unchained holds a key to your Bitcoin, they know how much Bitcoin you have. It's all fully KYC'd. And I would say that the chances of Unchained colluding with another company are very low, but not zero. And in the case of super backed, there's nobody that can rug you. So it's a lot more private. There's a lot less risk of, I shouldn't say a lot less risk, because with Unchained, I doubt that they'll ever have like a collusion between Unchained and their third party there, but it's non-zero. There's a chance it could happen, especially we have no idea what the price of Bitcoin is going to be worth. Maybe some of these companies will be incentivized to collude. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm saying it could happen. So if you're looking for something similar to this, and the inheritance protocol built in with the super backed stuff is right up there. And again, more private. It gives you more. I probably shouldn't say this on the internet, but whatever. It just gives you more options for yourself. With Unchained, with the inheritance stuff, it's all KYC'd. So if something were to happen to you, you don't really have a choice of whether or not you go the legal route, pay tax on it. But if you kind of do things on your own and you do things more privately, then it's kind of up to you what you want to do with it. And we leave that option to you as well. We give you the lawyers to do things properly, but you could always just leave it up to yourself and your family to decide. And personally, I like that option a lot better. So again, if you're interested in it, in the super backed security and inheritance stuff, just shoot me an email and we'll get you set up. There's no cost to setting up an initial call. We can see if it makes sense for you or not and give you some guidance on where to go from there. Captain Codeman, the common feature of companies operating key custody, their terms of use say you can't sue them for anything, even if they don't deliver the service. Oh, I didn't even know that. I didn't know that. Okay, thank you. No echo. That's good. Thanks for letting me know, everybody. Scotty says, why does the yellow hash rate line bounce up and down so much? What's the yellow one? Oh, that's the hash rate. I'll bring it up again here. The yellow line's the hash rate. So I know it's kind of hard to zoom in here, but this is what it looks like for the all 16 years of Bitcoin. So you can see this pink line here, that's a difficulty adjustment. So that's obviously very correlated with the hash rate. And I don't know if it's worth explaining on this show or not today. We're already pretty deep into today. But the pink line is the difficulty, which follows the hash rate. And it's much less volatile. It's more correlated. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I don't know if we need to get into that today. The difficulty adjustment, though, if you're unfamiliar with it, I think that it's one of the key aspects of Bitcoin and what makes it so, valuable, because it's all based on the hash rate. And when the hash rate goes up, when there's more people competing to win the next block, the difficulty goes up because it's all based on the 10-minute intervals, right, per block. And that's what really gives Bitcoin its value, is the 10-minute block on average, because that allows the nodes, the network, to be in consensus that everything's good. If the blocks start coming in too fast and there's no consensus, that's when things get squirrely. That's what we've seen with other blockchains who don't have the 10-minute, don't have the difficulty adjustment built into it. So when the hash rate's going up, there's more people competing. That means that there's probably the blocks are going to come in faster because somebody's going to get the block equation faster. So then the difficulty goes up, which makes it harder, which keeps the 10-minute blocks spaced out evenly. When the hash rate's down, it's taken more time to get the next block. And so the difficulty adjustment goes down. And the difficulty adjustment is kind of just the counterbalance that keeps everything running properly and makes sure that the blocks are 10 minutes on average and that there's consensus within the Bitcoin network. Hope that makes sense. All right, Plunger's over in Zapstream too. Morning, team. Good morning, Plunger. All right. What else we got here? I don't know if we're going to have time to do the what I want to talk about today. Maybe we will. JCZ, gold is useless, especially if you ever want to leave your country. I discovered this the hard way. You ain't wrong, my friend. You ain't wrong. Try taking your gold onto the airplane. Try. It was Dan on the weekend or on the New Year's. He said his favorite quote of 2024 was, "You don't have to shove Bitcoin up your butt." And it's true. You can keep Bitcoin in your head. And so if you want to hop on an airplane, or you print out a QR code using SUBSTACK and type in your password when you get there. But with gold, you can't keep it in your head. You can't have a QR code and password for your gold. And that's why people have historically shoved gold up their butt if they want to leave the country. So you don't have to shove Bitcoin up your butt. That's the moral of the story. And Plunger's up 210 sats. Thank you, Plunger. Appreciate that, my friend. All right, what else do we have here, folks? Unchained is good to ensure you don't mess up and lose your Bitcoin. Yep, they are great for that. But there's risks, there's trade-offs. And even going back to this, like even SUBSTACK has risks involved. I would say that the main risk of that would be you lose your password and lock yourself out. I mean, hopefully you figure that out before you lose your Bitcoin and you can still send it to a different wallet and redo the process there. But I would say the main risk of SUBSTACK is that you lose your password. You don't store it properly, or something happens to you before you tell people what your password is to unlock your secret. So everything has trade-offs, even SUBSTACK. It's a little bit more advanced. Obviously, you pick up the phone, you call Unchained, you KYC yourself, and then you're pretty much good to go. You have to pay an ongoing fee. Some people charge a percentage of your Bitcoin. There's a chance you could get rugged. Low chance, but still a chance. And with SUBSTACK, I would say the main risk is that it's a user error. So it takes a little bit more time, and there is a risk that you could kind of screw things up yourself. But with our help there, I mean, the thing to keep in mind too, we're not just going to give you SUBSTACK, tell you how to do it, and then just leave you out to dry. We're going to hold your hand the whole way through. And we have an annual call to make sure that everything's still in place, make sure that the process is still good. And with the lifetime membership of 21 Sats protocol, you get a weekly newsletter with security updates. You get 24/7 emergency helpline in case anything happens. And of course, any questions you have throughout the journey. What do you think of gold backs as money? Well, the one thing I'd say about gold and a gold standard is that even if we went to a gold standard instead of Bitcoin, which I don't think we will, but if we did, like, things would be significantly better. If you think about how much money and resources our governments waste, the only reason they're able to do that, the only reason they're able to waste money, I mean, I can think of 5 things off the top of my head. Our government spent $62 billion over budget in 2024. They should not ever have the opportunity to do that. If you had even a currency backed by gold, they would have to have gold. They would have to get more gold. They would have to, utilize the resources from the earth in order to print new money. They can't just be giving it out to Ukraine. They can't be sending it to Pakistan for gender studies. They can't send it to whoever to build a new rink. Like they would be a lot more conscious of how they're spending their money. They'd be a lot more resourceful if you actually had something to back the currency. So Bitcoin would be by far the best option for that. But even on a gold standard, our life would be 100x, 1000x better. And yeah, Captain Codeman says hash rate fluctuates wildly on every single miner. Yep. So that's the thing. The difficulty adjustment kind of just goes off of the hash rate. But the hash rate itself, again, if somebody plugs in a miner, it goes up. Somebody unplugs a miner, it goes down. So it is very volatile. It's very fluctuating based on energy costs, based on who else is needing the grid. And what I mean by that, if you think about like Texas is they're big Bitcoin miners there. And they have their own grid, I believe, called ERCOT, I think. I don't know. But anyways, let's say it got to minus 50 in Texas. And throughout the year, the Bitcoin miners have been able to utilize that power to mine Bitcoin. Because the citizens, everybody else doesn't need it, they don't need as much power. But when the weather gets to minus 50 and everybody starts needing a bunch of energy, the miners can just shut down. So they're very flexible. They're perfect for improving a power grid because they can flip on and off. If the citizens, if the community, if the town, city needs more energy, the Bitcoin miner just powers off, and that energy is allowed to go to the houses, the citizens. When they don't need it, that's when the Bitcoin miners buy the hash rate, buy the energy from the energy companies. So it's like a perfect design. And I would say that there's a very small fraction of people who really understand that, which is a huge opportunity for, where we are today. Plunger says, just set up Alby Hub last night. Wow. On your start 9, Plunger? Glad the zap worked. Good for you, man. Good for you. That's awesome. I got to top up my balance here. Before we go any further, okay, we are paid. Rent has been paid. Plunger says Umbro. Gotcha. So same kind of thing. Okay, what else we got here? Brandon says, does anyone here bother keeping a record of all their micro earnings of sats from doing surveys, playing games, listening to podcasts? I think you know the answer to that from me. But I don't know. Maybe people do. Maybe people do. I do not. They can come and figure it out if they want to. Scotty says, isn't your Bitcoin already KYC if you bought it off an exchange in reference to being KYC used? Yeah, it is. But like if I hold Bitcoin right now, Unchained doesn't know that I do. And let's just say like in a worst case scenario here, where I have some Bitcoin held at Unchained, if Trudeau decided, this might be, I don't know if I can even use Unchained in Canada, but let's say that Trudeau really wanted to take measures against Bitcoiners and he wanted to see who owned what in Bitcoin. They could subpoena a company like Unchained to provide that information, that you're still holding the key to that. And if you compare that to like an exchange, and if you do a couple steps to wash that Bitcoin, or even if you're just holding it, you could technically say that you lost the keys to it. There's going to be a lot of like very gray areas in Bitcoin, I think, just based on how it works and based on how it can be secured and how it can be custodied. So even if let's say I bought some Bitcoin at Bitcoin Well in 2024, and the government wanted to prove that I had it, it'd be much harder to do Bitcoin Well, super backed, the full setup there, than it would be to go to Unchained and said, they still have a key, it's connected to you, so clearly you own this Bitcoin. Whereas with Bitcoin Well through an exchange, yes, it's KYC'd, but they'd have a much harder time proving it. Even if they subpoenaed Bitcoin Well, they couldn't really prove that you still have that Bitcoin. And I don't know how that's going to look in the future. I really don't. But that's kind of the difference there. Right. They need to identify you for possible recovery purposes, but they also can prove that you have it. You have access to it. As long as you're alive and you can move it, obviously Unchained and the third party could move it somewhere if they needed to. So you still have ownership of that. Thiago, good morning. Captain Codeman says Superbacked is relatively obscure, little used software. That and paper backups is a risk. Well, the paper backup is just for the QR code, which you could always regenerate if you needed to. You could print out 20 of them. And even if somebody came across the QR code, they couldn't do anything with it. So, I mean, yeah, keeping one copy of your QR code might be a risk, but you can leave it in 10 different places. So I wouldn't say if that's the main risk of using Superbacked, I would say that, I'm pretty happy with that. Jay says, I removed my LB hub from Umbro, and we'll see if I can get it back connecting to my LB hub on Start 9. Oh, yes, I remember talking to you about that. Good to know. Good to know. Okay. Well, what should we do here? I think I'm gonna we'll give away some Bitcoin here, and maybe we'll save what I was going to talk about for another day because we're kind of out of time here already. But that's okay. We got a million more shows to do, so there's no rush. I think it was all right. Where do we need to go here? No, I haven't been topped up. Come on, Bitcoin well. We got a few points left though. We'll do one. So get your Lightning wallets out and get ready to go here. Someone's going to win some free sats. Do we have any unclaimed? That's the question. No. Okay. We ready? Oh no, I'm not even on yet. Yikes. We ready? We set? Go. $210 sats to the winner today. 210 sats. Congrats to the winner. Generational wealth there. So shout out to Bitcoin Well once again. I would say, I mean, there's been almost 200 people who have signed up this year. Not as many using it yet. A lot of people signed up. But make sure, especially if you're in North America, definitely get yourself a Bitcoin Well account. Try it out. Just buy like $200 or $300 worth of Bitcoin on there. See what the experience is like. See what kind of options you have in terms of functionality on there, and just give it a try. That's all I ask, because that's what I did. I used a couple different exchanges before Bitcoin Well, but once I started using Bitcoin Well, I haven't been buying Bitcoin anywhere else. It's so easy. It's so simple. It's the lowest fees in North America, I believe, in terms of the spread, and they don't hold any Bitcoin. There's no risk of losing Bitcoin to Bitcoin Well because they don't hold any. As soon as you buy it, as soon as they get your money, they send it to your wallet. You can use Lightning. You can use a cold storage device. Depending on how big of a buy you have, you can either use Lightning to build up your balance before moving it to cold storage, or you can just send it directly through there. And so if you're in Canada, if you're in the US, make sure you get yourself an account, bitcoinwell.com/Jor. Big shout out to them. Again, I don't make any money from Bitcoin Well. They don't pay me anything, but they do give free Bitcoin to the community here. So in appreciation of that, just give them a shot. That's all I would ask. And they are definitely on Team Bitcoin, which I love. That's probably the main reason I use Bitcoin Well. Like, the features are great. The no fee swap on chain to Lightning, great. But it's just the fact that they're Bitcoiners. And when push comes to shove, you want to be using an exchange that are on Team Bitcoin and not on Team Government. And I'm not going to speak ill on any exchanges here in Canada, but there are a couple that are much closer to Team Government than Team Bitcoin. So I know that Bitcoin Well, I know that Atom, they would probably do anything in their power to not have to give up any sort of information to the government outside of what they are required to do, which I love. Alan, good morning. Drop your linen and start your grinning. 2025 is here. Oh, that's good shit. 88 sats from Daniel. Thank you, Daniel. And Plunger says he's really enjoying his umbrella. So that's what you want. That's what you need. And if you are somebody who's thinking about getting one of the start, mine's running now. My Bitcoin node is running. The full blockchain has been downloaded. and Start9. So I use Start9. I think that Start9 and Umbrel are probably the two best options if you want to be taking self-sovereignty and running your own server. So we got a couple people on the team, including Daniel and Craig, who can help you set up your Bitcoin node. So if you're in the market, you can get one from Start9. Use the code 88SATS. You save about $60 US using that code. And you can also get an Umbrel. But regardless, if you want somebody to help you through it, because there's a lot to know. I know it seems pretty easy, especially if you have some help, but there is a lot to know. And I've only like scratched the surface with this thing. So I'm very happy to have people like Daniel and Craig on the team. And so there are options out there for people who help with that kind of stuff. But I think that if you watch the show, if you're in this community, I think it's a no-brainer to be using people or asking people who are here. The trust is there. It's a big part of it. Scotty says, I definitely need to look into SuperBack too. Yeah, just set up a call. There's absolutely zero pressure. We'll just explain it to you based on your situation. That's kind of where we start, whether you use just a normal wallet, if you got a signing device, if you got a multi-sig, SuperBack is very flexible. And that's kind of where we start, just to keep things very simple. We look at what you have and how to make that more secure. And then as you go along, you can always add more security on top of that. Captain Codeman says, check the apps available to help decide between Umbrel and Start9. And actually, if you are somebody, I don't know if I should probably talk to Craig about this before announcing this, but I'm sure he's okay with it. But anyways, if you're looking for like a comparison between Umbrel and Start9, just reach out, because Craig has a very good document comparing Umbrel versus Start9, the benefits, the drawbacks, the price, the use cases, the functionality, head-to-head, Start9, Umbrel. He likes both of them. So I've only used the Start9 myself, and it was awesome. But Umbrel is a little bit cheaper option. I think it just works just as well. So that's it. We're on day 2 now of 365 days of Bitcoin. Posted the first one yesterday. I was talking about where to start, Lightning wallets, a few other things. And today is going to be a really good one. Day 2 of 365 Bitcoin is talking about the network, the mempool, transaction fees, how it all works, why it's so important, and just kind of giving the members in there a little sneak peek of it, because it's going to be a big, I think people should learn about the Bitcoin network before they buy Bitcoin. I really believe that. So that's day 2 today on 365. And if you are interested in joining that, check it out. You can go to the Patreon site. You can see what it's all about. You can check out the first video. I don't know if there's a free trial on there or not, but either way. And Daniel says, I like Start9 if you're not as technical. And if you're comfortable with Linux/Unix, then Umbrel might be right for you. Do your research. It's a good thing to keep in mind here with a channel like mine, is that, I do it live. I don't have a whole lot of notes. I just kind of go off whatever's on the top of my head. And so I'm going to get some things wrong. Even if I had it written down, I might be wrong about some things. So never take my word or anybody else's word as gospel. Always, have some people you can trust, but always make sure that you're doing your own verification, research on things. And I'm not going to get everything right on the show. There's so much within Bitcoin that I still need to learn. I don't pretend to be an expert, but I'm a very non-technical technical guy. And I think that non-technical people learn a lot better from people who are like that. So keep that in mind. And Spaceman says, we all know my position on Start9. They totally rock. Yeah. So once again, if you're looking to take some self-sovereignty into your own hands, 2025, just go to start9.com. I got the Pure. It's called the Pure. And as Andy says here, we're all learning. It's just steps. Exactly. We're all just going through this crazy journey together. So I will get things wrong. I don't claim to be right about anything or everything for sure, but I think people understand that. It's usually just some dipshits in the comments that say otherwise. But anyways, this is what I got. They're temporarily sold out. So scratch this whole thing. Oh, you can't even see it. Temporarily sold out, but they're usually pretty quick to restock. I think the last time they sold out, it lasted about a week or two. So this one's pretty good too. From what I understand, the server one, same functionality. You can get a Bitcoin node on it. This one, I'm guessing, just has more features to it. So check this out. And one thing I will say as well is that if you are somebody out there who's looking to get a Bitcoin or a server, sorry, not a Bitcoin, but a server, you can always just hire Start9. You can pay an extra $100. You can get full support, the setup of it, and they know pretty well what they're doing with their own products there. So if you're looking for that, consider Start9. Save yourself some money instead of paying another company or even Bitcoin Citadel to do it. I know that's bad advertising, but the nice thing that we'll offer is more than just a 1 hour phone call or something. That will tell you what you need. We'll give you the comparisons. We'll help you set it up. We'll give you some ongoing support after if you need. So, and about the same price as that too, I'm thinking. And any other questions you have. So something to consider is using Start9 just for their support. Any love for Raspberry Blitz? I haven't seen the Raspberry Blitz for a while in terms of servers. Got expensive. Yeah, I haven't seen too many people talking about that for a while now. So I don't know myself personally, but anyways, let's start wrapping things up here. Thank you to everybody for the zaps today. Thank you for everybody for showing up on Zapstream. We had a pretty good crowd on there today for the majority of the show. So we got Plunger 210 sats. We got Mav 21 with a fat 4200 sat zap. Bodie 2100. Spaceman 121. Bailey, Duncan 121. Craig sent in 2100 sats. And Sunshine with 420. And of course, Letha Legendary 121 sats this morning. So that's the show. And shout out to Rumble too. There's 10 people watching here at one point. So we're going to keep streaming on Rumble. And hopefully we can transition over to there at one point from this, especially if YouTube keeps kicking me down. Maverick says, still planning on doing Start9 server tutorial. During Christmas, you get the Pure for $875. Now it's back up to $1,100. Yeah, they aren't cheap, but I consider this an investment in my sovereignty. And I think that there's going to be, I didn't buy it just to run my own node. I think this thing's going to be a very instrumental part of my Bitcoin journey, this server. So I'm trying to learn it now for when the time comes when I need it, and I'm going to be way ahead of the game. So Maverick, I don't know if I'm going to be doing I tried walking through the process of doing a tutorial. I was going to have cameras everywhere and do a whole bunch of editing. It's hard enough just to learn how to do it yourself, never mind document the whole thing. But I do have notes, and I might just do a video of talking about my experience with it. I think that would be also very beneficial to people. So, oh, somebody sent in one zap. Oh no, this was a Zapertising. Somebody sent me one sat. Thank you to orangefriend.com. What do you think, Arnie? Should we wrap her up? Okay, did I miss anything? No, that's it. All right. So thank you once again for the sats. Thank you for being here. And yeah, definitely check out the 365 days of Bitcoin on the Patreon. I think it's going to be perfect for people who are somewhat new to Bitcoin. This is the last thing I wanted to talk about here. This is something I thought of in the last couple of days with the 365. Here's my plan. So the 365 days of Bitcoin is exactly how it sounds. Every day I'm going to post a video on Bitcoin talking about a different topic. And the idea there is to do it chronologically, where even if you know nothing about Bitcoin day one, you're going to have a very good understanding of Bitcoin and security and setup and everything by this time next year. So kind of what I'm thinking here, and again, don't hold me to this because this could change and evolve, but kind of what I'm thinking with the 365 Bitcoin is I actually want to give out like certificates for it. And no, this isn't going to be like a universally recognized certificate or degree or anything. But I do think that there's going to be something there because I talk about this all the time on the show. I say that there's a huge disconnect between the people who are going to be needing Bitcoin and needing help with Bitcoin and the people who can actually help them with Bitcoin. And there's 300 million businesses on the planet. Each one of those businesses are going to be holding Bitcoin, and each one of those businesses are going to need help securing their Bitcoin. So do not underestimate the knowledge that you have. And if you're serious about this and you're just getting into it, you know, you're going to be a prime candidate for a lot of these companies to help them with Bitcoin. And so I think that after the 365, I'm going to give out like a diploma, like a certificate that you can hang on the wall. It's actually, I have an idea for it. It's not going to be like your typical thing that you put on the wall, but you'll frame it if you want. But I do think that, you know, in a couple of years from now, they're going to recognize something like this as a Bitcoiner, as a channel, and to go through the whole process and what's involved. I do think that there will be some merit there. I really do. And so I'm either going to give you some sats back after doing like a little quiz or test at the end of the year with you. And if you pass, then you're going to get a certificate. So you're either going to get like a digital copy of the certificate and sats, or I'll actually send you a certificate in the mail if you complete the 365 and if you complete the course. Timber says, if I join the 365 days of Bitcoin in the Patreon, will I still have my 8 Satoshis membership? Yes. So that's what I'm going to do. And again, 2026 comes around, you're probably not going to apply to a company and say, this is my 365 days of Bitcoin degree, and they're going to recognize it. But in a couple of years from now, I do think that it'll be recognized by certain people. I do, because there's not a whole lot of people who are doing this. And if you go through 365 days, you're going to cover a lot of topics, and you're going to have a pretty good understanding of what Bitcoin is all about. And if you compare that to like a week-long course or a 2-week course, like think about the difference there in terms of the actual understanding of it. Tartafuna says, I recommend Umbrel because it is easy to use. Yep, Umbrel or Start9, both very easy to use. BTC Hunger Pain says, if Mr. Trump changes the classification of Bitcoin from property to money, we'd see our first Omega candle. I think we're going to see it either way, regardless of what Mr. Trump does. But if he does make some moves in his early days, then I think it's going to run away from a lot of people in a very quick fashion. So anyways, I got to go. We got another meeting coming up here in a couple minutes. So anybody who's going to be in that meeting, I'll send you the link in 2 minutes from now. So have yourselves a great day, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for the zaps. And we'll see you right back here first thing tomorrow for Fat Zap Friday. I know it doesn't seem like tomorrow's Friday, but it is. So we will we'll see you tomorrow. Cleaning Machine says, appreciate your patience, knowledge, support, and time. Thank you, my friend. That means a lot to me. Truly. Let's go 365. All right. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.